I know.
Hang on.
Yeah, they can wait.
What's wrong?
These people are brutal. You don't understand.
All right.
They're gonna chase through that.
I think that it probably just auto started. They can probably hear us now. Hello, everybody. We are getting set up. It'll just be a moment. There's that. Actually, you know what? I need the topics for this week. I never did that because I've been busy. But
the Chainsaw Man. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Chainsaw Man episode. We're gonna talk about the Golden Kamuy episode.
Okay.
The fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
Weeb shit. Don't worry about it.
Jeff starting K-Show because the Mike Mayhem.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I was like, I don't wanna. And you're gonna like force feed him like trash anime.
Hell yeah!
Like the goose, like the goose that they take the foie or whatever. Exactly like that.
Is this the part of the show where I yell at you guys about stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So for the first time in my life ever,
oh great,
I watched this little show called the Giant Bombcast.
What for the first time ever?
Oh, yeah.
First time ever.
Okay.
Yes.
How'd that go for you?
I was made irrationally mad several times.
We're doing our job.
First of all, I absolutely only give you crap for mispronouncing Pokemon.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because I know Mike knows better.
I yelled that in chat. I was on that when they say that,
so
and I yelled that in chat.
Yes. Yeah, that was your trying to bail
this
yourself
is
out.
you're
like,
the petite
both of us about it. I'm like, no,
yeah, you're the petite bourgeoisie. We had to defend each other here. We're the proletarian.
I just assume I'm being yelled at, or that everyone's being yelled at. All right.
Oh, also, Backlar's Mario rant made me very upset.
Yeah, what was his thing? I don't remember.
Okay, so I respect your opinion because you're like, it's bad and I hate it, but I'll get over it.
Yeah.
He was like, this voice is an affront to mankind.
Well, he said specifically it's an affront to Charles Martinet, which it is, but yeah, Charles gets paid. Chucky gets paid.
He'll be fine.
Yes, he's going to be fine. All right, I'm putting in the Microsoft accuses UK regulators of adopting blah, blah, blah. What other topics do we need to talk about this week?
The foam pit. I'm kidding.
Man. People just want to talk about breaking backs. All right.
No.
That's not what they want to talk about.
I hope she gets better. So.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Top this week.
Yeah, what else is happening on games? Top this week. What has been happening?
Chat isn't chat usually in this thing? Where the fuck is it?
Mike, did you ever get that cup of coffee?
I did. I drank half of it. It was my first cup of coffee in like maybe a decade. I had it today. I drank half of it and felt pretty tweaked out. So
Whoa, fuck there. Yeah, that's where you're killing all the people playing like soldiers. So they were like gaming moments.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was actually pretty tuned in on my soldier today. We'll see. Somebody had a good point in the Reddit. Like, my problem is talking too fast on podcasts. So being tweaked out on coffee is not going to help that. You can hear me.
Is that why you forgot to record the show?
No, I was never told to record locally. First off, that's.
I mean, you are correct, but I do wonder what you thought we were talking about when I was like, we need to be opening Audacity and we need to be.
I never heard you say open. I never heard you say that stuff. So if you said that,
I was like saying like, yeah, we're getting Audacity open.
You missed it because they said that.
Yeah, I missed that.
They said that on the pre-show.
Yeah,
I missed that.
I missed that.
Yeah, he's not an employee. It's not on him.
It's not on him. That's correct.
I listened live in like 2 months or something, and I caught everything, brother.
I was just so mad because I was like, I did so good, and they were like backlars. Like, Mike's the best friend of the site. Like, wow, this is great. I could do no wrong. Then shit.
And now you're a piece of shit.
I thought you were joking because I saw
everyone
you doing
did.
They thought I was joking too.
And I'm like, Mike is not joking. He would not joke about this.
No, it's not a joke. I felt very bad. Didn't seem to be an issue though.
You're fired now, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now my giant bomb check's not coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just
Roadhouse. Hell yeah, we watched that
Oh
movie
yeah,
last
thanks
night.
for the raid. Was that whose idea was it to raid me last night? Was that
Me.
you, Jeff?
Once I saw that you were live, I
Me.
was pretty insistent that we were gonna do it in my head, and then everyone was like, "We should raid Mike." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
don't-
said it first in
I
chat,
didn't
and
have
then
to convince
everyone was
anybody.
like, "Yeah, he's right."
Yep.
That's
Ray
right.
Mike.
Yep. Yeah, I saw your
That's right.
chat, and
Thank
then
you, Christian.
and then
You're
everyone else.
welcome, brother.
I think Dan immediately said
Looking
something. So
out
I'm
for
like,
you.
yeah, we'll do that. Okay.
Dan probably said, "Let's raid Mitch Tokoto."
Yes, Mitch Telcoda. Overwatch, Mike. Can I just put Overwatch 2 in here, and then we can just talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we're gonna do in the thing, because everyone else will get to the stuff in the questions. All right, Mike, are you ready?
I mean, I have to open up Stream Elements. While I do that, did you tweet?
No, but I mean, I'm testing this
I can
music one
stop
last
thinking
time.
about that shotgun guy on that movie.
I hear music.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Stream elements, Discord. I gotta get Discord open. Let me do that. Discord.
I forgot to eat dinner today, which is embarrassing, but hey. I'll do that after this. I have all this chicken marinating, so I can't like bitch out and like just make a sandwich because I don't want the chicken to over marinate. So I'm just gonna have to put that in the oven after this.
Can you over marinate a chicken?
Oh yeah, you can over marinate anything. It'll start getting kind of leathery and tough if you just marinate something for too long.
Can't over marinate your
Oh.
mom.
I could probably keep
What
it in.
does that even fucking mean, brother? What are you talking?
I know. We don't have to try to
What
come up with
the
what it could
heck?
mean because it'll be gross.
All right. There's that. There's this. Let me mute this so you guys don't get mad at me about my Discord sounds. Like, God, get
Like
over
some
it.
people.
Like, yeah. And then podcast
That's right. We get
producers.
mad.
Mike, do you have something that's connected and unconnected all the time on your computer? Because every time I watch your stream, every now and then I hear a like a.
Oh
thing
yes, I
being-
absolutely do. Yeah, my phone.
Ah,
I didn't know you could hear that. Absolutely, that's a thing. Oh, so thank you for. I'll watch out for that now. Thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
I think we are ready. Mike, you ready?
Mikey's ready.
I forgot to tweet. That's what I was like. What did I forget to do? Everyone was yelling at me about something. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Copy
pain don't
video.
hurt.
Pain don't hurt.
I watched that movie when I was a kid, and I either watched it on a VHS or on TV, but I don't remember that many boobies. I don't remember any boobies being on that movie,
Roadhouse has a
so
lot
it
of
means it
boobies?
heavily censored that movie to show it.
Got a lot of man and woman boobies.
Man,
Yeah.
I mostly remember.
Nice.
Because
Sam
my
Elliott.
12-year-old brain would have 100% remembered the boobies.
I also remember, even for a movie where it's like the bad guy owns the police, thinking it was pretty ridiculous the things he was just getting away with, like just destroying some guy's car
monster
dealership
truck.
in broad
Monster
daylight
truck.
in front of a crowd. Like,
With a monster
okay, with a monster truck. I was like, okay,
like,
come on.
If you did this, like the National Guard would be called in. Like, what is?
Right? Like, I'd be like, oh, well, there's no cell phones back then. Like, give me a break.
That was like, can you just buy the police like that?
Like, I understand. It's usually a bit more underhanded than, hey, I'm going to have a monster truck destroy this guy's car dealership because, like, I don't like, well, we're going to turn a
Did you
blind
hear
eye
Dan
to
think about
this.
consensual murder?
Yeah.
That was fun to deal with. All right.
You can be naked in public, but you can murder somebody.
Honestly, that's probably how Kansas feels. Okay. Let's do this. I get to see Jeff tweet live. That's right. That's where the magic happens.
Jeff tweet live.
That's where the magic happens, baby. All right, everybody.
So the sausage is done.
I'm gonna count us in. Are you ready, Michael?
Yeah, though,
Yeah,
I notice my
Grub is dead.
hands are cold when I press them to my face like this.
All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Fuck!
There's
Shut
no
up.
music.
Shut up! I don't want to hear it. Mike, you're doing the podcast from now on.
No, Jeff, you're great. You're great. No, you're fine, Jeff. You can do it. I believe in you. You're fine. You're fine.
It was muted and it was set to the wrong bus. All right, 5, 4, 3. the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Mike Minotti, and with me is...
Jeff Grubb.
You're supposed to say AJ Minotti. I'm just reading what's written here.
That's right. I changed it. I was like, why would he say this? I get it. Nice.
I'm back. Daddy's back, and we're going to put everything back in its place, which means most things won't work, but that doesn't matter because I'm in charge again the way God intended. I listened. You guys did a good job last week, except for the music didn't overlap properly, so I'm very mad at you all. You started speaking way before the point where I started speaking.
Well, yes, absolutely I did. Look, I never have to speak during that part, so I've never really paid attention to when you come in. I usually just goof around and like shake my head or move my arms around, try to make it look like I'm not jacking off invisible dicks too much,
That's right.
but
Just
moving them nonetheless.
Just a little bit of the suggestion of jacking off invisible dicks. Give the people what they want.
Exactly. Yeah, scissor me, daddy ass, and all that stuff.
Yes. I don't know. So I mean, I'm back. How's it feel? You guys had a good week last week. It was a good episode. I listened up until the point where you started yelling about how the name of my podcast was Jeff Grubb thinks Chris Pratt is okay or something like that.
That's not what the name was. That Chris Pratt is fine. I was like, well, it's on Jeff's podcast. So Jeff Grubb's Game Mess is the name of this YouTube channel, I believe. There's a picture of you there as a punch out dude. So yeah, these are all your opinions, whether you agree with them or not.
Well, I'm back here to set the record straight, and I'm over it. I don't care. I don't care about Chris Pratt anymore.
Oh, I'm way over that and have somehow gotten back to being really upset about what people consider to be mainline Mario games or not.
How do we always get back here? We always end up back here.
Here's the problem, Jeff, is that when I'm starting to kind of like maybe give a little ground, and it's like, okay, if you want to think Yoshi's Island somehow is a mainline Mario game, even though it's not a Mario game, you don't control Mario, it doesn't have the traditional Mario mechanics, all these reasons, whatever. And then somebody like a Dan Riker will just come out and be like, 3D World isn't a mainline Mario game. And then like a couple people like, I agree with that. And then I'm just back to square one of rage. I just don't know how to handle it.
It's just so stupid to think something like that. A lot of times Dan will say stuff on our shows, and Backlar will be like, I can't even do it. You're just being so stupid. I'm like, Backlar's just what he's always like. And then he'll say something like this. I'm like, no, Backlar's right. We should not be subjected to this. This is unfair. Creative director, he needs to be in jail. How does he have that title?
I know how his brain got there, and it's because he doesn't consider like the portable games to be mainline, which I think like that's wrong. I can almost see that, but because 3D Land was a portable game, then 3D World is like kind of a sequel to that. His brain broke, and the only way like a robot he can make it all work is to discount Mario 3D World.
That's right. Like he probably was created in some lab, and this is the best his algorithm can do, and so we should give him a little bit of slack for that. The list though of games that he thinks are mainline Mario is it's like so weird. It's so bizarre.
Lost Levels does not count. It would count in Japan, but in America it just doesn't. I think it's regional.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. This is probably something that I will be getting mad at him for the rest of my life now. So that's fun. I'm never going to change his mind. So.
Well, I mean, you could. So. If it was Metroid, obviously Metroid 2, The Return of Samus, is a mainline Metroid game, even though it's like the Game Boy one. And again, here's the real problem, Jeff, is that we all just know in our hearts what we think are the core Mario games. Mm-hmm. And then we work backwards to justify it. Yeah. That's the problem. Like, if you really ask me why is Yoshi's Island not a core Mario game, the reason why I believe that is because it just isn't. And that's why Dan would say 3D World isn't one, and then we kind of work backwards to figure out why we feel like that.
Right. Now, if you do go to mario.nintendo.com/history, they will give you what they consider to be the main line, but that has stuff like Super Mario Run, and that's a rough one for me.
That's a hard one. It's like that, and even the Mario Makers is borderline for me.
Yes, yeah. Mario Maker feels more like a Mario side game than a core Mario. Then it's tough, but. That list seems mostly fair, and I'm like, ready to give Nintendo, like, yeah, you are the authority here, right? I guess. But no, they are wrong about so many things about their own stuff that I'm like,
yes, like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, exactly.
Well, they're not wrong about that. I mean, that's just absolutely correct. Same process.
A line must be somewhere, I admit, but that line has to include 3D World. That is just the new bonkers to me, saying that the 3D Mario game made by the 3D Mario team, like 4 or 5 years after Galaxy 2 and 4 or 5 years before Odyssey somehow doesn't count.
Yep. All right. We're going to get to today's episode in which we'll talk about the Overwatch 2 launch and its ongoing issues. We're going to talk about Microsoft versus Sony and the latest developments there. But first, thank you for joining us. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord at GameMess.net. If you want to ask a question, you could drop a super chat during the show on YouTube. We will read all of those before the end of the episode. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. We are on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you're listening. It helps people find the show. You can also tell a friend about it. That also really helps. Thank you to our mods who have been great at keeping things running on the rails, both on the Discord and here on YouTube. And you could support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. If for some reason you don't want to go with Patreon, you could also hit the join button here on YouTube. That'll get you all the same benefits, which include access to the private channels in our Discord, the monthly Q&A, which we'll be recording here in a couple of weeks, and the monthly Jeopardy game, which you can watch live before a month later when it gets posted for everybody. You can watch it live with us as we're recording it. We post that in the podcast producers channel, and you can find all that information there. We'll be recording that here in a couple of weeks. We need to make sure we figure out a time to do that with Emron if he can return. And if he can't, I've got someone lined up. If Emron can't do it. So, all right, Mike, let's get to the big topics of the week. Just a couple of things. I figured, we're going to get to a lot of questions here from the Discord community, and they've got a lot of stuff they want to talk about. But the couple things I wanted to talk to you about first, start with Microsoft accusing UK regulator, the CMA, of adopting Sony's complaints over the Activision Blizzard deal. I'll just read some of the stuff from Andy Robinson at VGC, which if you missed, I had Andy on Game Mess Mornings earlier this week. He was great. Andy's fantastic. It was awesome to finally talk to him. I know that you guys met at Summer Game Fest, right?
Yeah, I got to hang out with him a good bit and chat him up. Yeah, he's a nice guy. It was a good time.
Yes, nice guy is exactly right. All right, Andy writes that in September, the Competition Markets Authority said its inquiry into the $69 billion merger had officially been expanded to a second phase due to a number of antitrust concerns. Those concerns were like, this could hurt some competitors, especially in stuff like streaming and subscription services. Responding to the CMA's decision to go to that phase 2, Microsoft has now called the regulator's concerns misplaced and claimed that it adopts Sony's complaints without the appropriate level of critical review. And that seems to be pretty much exactly what has happened. I think the question is that unfair at this stage? Like, someone has an issue. Like, okay, we're going to listen to those issues. We're going to listen to Sony's complaints here. And Sony basically has said, and we've covered this a lot, that, hey, we can't compete without Call of Duty. I think that we've stated also repeatedly at this point that doesn't pass the sniff test, right?
Right. No, it doesn't. This whole thing is getting kind of just complicated and weird. It's bizarre, and it's hard to pass too much judgment, because you almost want to wait for the end result, but then by the time the end result happens, it's like it could be something weird, like, is somebody being untreated fairly here? Now, there's a part of me, it's like, even if Microsoft was treated unfairly, it'd be rough for me to get my handkerchief out, I guess.
Exactly,
Jeff,
right?
But I definitely do think, like, you have to put a gun in my head and say, do you think that Sony is going to be at a disadvantage and unable to compete if they don't have Call of Duty anymore? And that's still an if even.
Right.
I'd be like, they'd probably still be fine. It would definitely suck. It definitely hurt. But it's something bad happening to Sony. Is Sony having to take a loss of some kind? Is that a reason for governments to get involved?
Right. And so what we saw happen in Brazil, which is one of these countries that was overlooking this deal, they heard both sides. They listened to those complaints from Sony, and they basically said, we are approving this deal. And they explicitly said, it is not our place to protect Sony in the marketplace, which seems fair to me. Yeah.
that is the kind of thing. It's like, it sure is funny how the one, place that is holding this up maybe or seems to be the most suspicious is, Jim Ryan's home turf, right?
Yeah, the place where Jim Ryan you could imagine, at least I do, that he would have the most power or the most influence or the most people's phone numbers and the most people he could easily take out to dinner and stuff like that. Now, I'm not like suggesting anything untoward like that. It's just, it is easy to imagine, and working backward from what Microsoft is suggesting here, like, here's a statement from them. In short, Sony is not vulnerable to a hypothetical foreclosure strategy, and the referral decision from the CMA incorrectly relies on self-serving statements by Sony, which significantly exaggerate the importance of Call of Duty to it and neglect to account for Sony's clear ability to competitively respond. While Sony may not welcome increase in competition, it has the ability to adapt and compete. Gamers will ultimately benefit from this increased competition and choice. Should any consumers decide to switch from a gaming platform that does not give them a choice as to how to pay for new games, PlayStation, and this is still Microsoft saying that, but they put in parentheses PlayStation, to one that does, Xbox, then that is the sort of consumer switching behavior that the CMA should consider welfare enhancing and indeed encourage. It is not something that the CMA should be trying to prevent. And then the unspoken thing, the unwritten thing there so far is the only reason you would want to prevent that is to protect Sony. And it's hard to argue against that. That is a hard thing for me to see through. Like, what does the CMA think it would accomplish by protecting Sony from this increased competition? I don't really know.
Right. The hardest thing for Sony here has always been Nintendo doesn't have Call of Duty, and it does fine.
Yes.
And
something Brazil also mentioned. They mentioned that exactly.
Right. And, they're very vocal about picking up live service, and they're going to make all these live service games. So they, it's a space they can compete in already. Clearly, that's something they plan to compete in. So it's not like they're incapable of it. I do love, Jeff, reading that document, the Microsoft response to this, and literally them having to officially and pointedly explain how bad they are. Like, look, we're in third place.
Yes.
Look how much, right? Look how much we
so
suck.
Many more games than we do. They got we don't have any game. They're like, Xbox has no games officially. Xbox, like quote unquote Xbox. Phil Spencer, Xbox has no games. Yeah, it's real weird.
There you go. Big win for Xbox Killer.
Yeah, hey, congratulations, you were right all along. The other side of this is Sony has separately told the CMA in an exploratory document that Call of Duty fans are likely to switch to Xbox even if the game isn't exclusive. So you could see Sony slowly responding to the way the conversation has gone, where they're like, they could make this exclusive and we'll be fucked. And now they're like, okay, obviously they're not going to make it exclusive. Everyone sort of recognizes that, but even if they don't, they're going to put extra stuff on Call of Duty for Xbox, and that'll get people to switch. And again, I just, PlayStation, you pay to do that. If that's
PlayStation literally used to have extra stuff for Call of Duty.
I think it still does a little bit, or at least early stuff or something. And you get into the beta early if you pre-order it on PlayStation.
I mean, remember Spider-Man and fucking the Avengers? That was a pretty big deal,
right? And it's so it's okay to do that if you pay a company the fee, but it's not okay if for something that you would own. It's just bizarre. Again, Sony saying what they have to say to try to derail this, probably expecting the CMA to not fully understand or be interested in fully understanding the dynamics of the way these business deals usually work. It is just so weird for us listening and you and me to see a company that we know does this say how this would be a bad thing for them. Right. But they have to stop acting like Call of Duty is going to go exclusive, because it's very clear that it's not going to. It just doesn't make any sense for Microsoft to do that.
And to a point, I don't blame Sony for defending its position here. I'm a little surprised they're defending it as hard as they are, but you do certainly hope that the UK or something isn't really going to take this that seriously. And I guess there is some concern. They seem to be taking it maybe more seriously than they need to be. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stop the deal or what have you. But it's interesting. Yeah,
I think the maybe the most generous reading here is that everyone involved is just sort of on their own payroll and doing their job. And the people at the CMA are like, oh, yeah, I mean, Jim Ryan called us up and he was really concerned. Absolutely, we can look into this. And once they do that, actually, we're not going to do anything. But it was we're doing our due diligence. And even Sony making these arguments, the most likely thing here, and obviously Jim Ryan, he drove to the EU and stuff. Obviously, he's interested in stopping this, but a lot of these arguments do feel like there are lawyers on the staff at Sony doing their best to frame these arguments in the most favorable way that they possibly can, just like it's their job. And there's no actual real big conspiracy inside of Sony to try to find every way to derail this. It's probably just a bunch of lawyers doing their job. And I think to a certain extent, that's probably exactly what's happening here. But I am getting to a point where this is getting a little bit silly, and I'm ready to see it just be over. And it feels like we're almost there. Maybe this UK or EU research and research stage of it, whether or not this is fair. Okay, maybe that could take a few more months, but it does feel like we are at least reaching the end for the FTC. And then maybe if the FTC closes, the UK and EU will come quickly behind them, and this could just be over with, and we can move on. The only other thing I wanted to talk about this week, Mike, with you before we get to our questions from our community and continue our conversations is Overwatch 2. It is something I've played a little bit of. I've had a good time. But every time I read about it in the news, it feels like it's on one of those trajectories similar to, it's not as bad as Fallout 76, but it seems like it's on that trajectory where everything that you hear about it is another sort of stepping on a rake situation.
Right. Yeah. I think Jan called it the sideshow Bob stepping on the rake thing. And and that sounds right. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's been a rough launch. And that isn't shocking. And it's one of those things where, people the online consensus has turned against it. The user score on Metacritic for the PC version is a 1.5, right? And of course, some of that's just people going to be mad about the switch to free to play. But it has been a rocky launch in terms of first the server stability, the DDoS attack, and that stuff, and then just all these other weird problems popping up. Two characters were bugged, and they tried to remove them, and when they did, a lot of people, myself included, lost access to half of their rosters. You can only play with half of the characters in the game. Do some kind of weird, how does that happen? So that's weird. So they had to take the servers down for that. There was a problem where people finishing their competitive placement matches, almost everybody was getting placed into bronze no matter what. So they come out and they said, okay, well, we fixed that too. So it's just a lot of fixes. And they're doing hey, everyone's getting a free skin, what have you. But, they were already at such a disadvantage, Jeff, with this thing coming out without that PvE mode, which was really the whole selling point of Overwatch 2. With it being so confusing, why is this Overwatch 2? It's free to play now. It's replacing Overwatch 1. It has such an uphill battle, and all these kind of compounding problems are not helping perception. And perception was a huge part of Overwatch 1's success. Overwatch 1 was seen as a prestige game. It won Game of the Year and stuff at the Game Awards, right? And everybody just talked about how amazing it was. And now it is so much more this kind of negative air about it. And I imagine Overwatch 2 is probably still doing well, but you wonder, right? Man, what if, could it be so bad that somehow this thing just flops? Probably not. But we certainly aren't hearing anything from Blizzard, the PR thing, wow, 10 million Overwatch heroes have signed up in the first week, right? We're not hearing that. We're hearing there was another problem and we fixed it. You're welcome.
What was the most recent one? I think it's been in the news today or yesterday. What was it?
The most recent thing that I saw was the placement matches problem. Where people were getting put into bronze tier.
I didn't even. I did. Okay. I was I haven't even heard about that one. I haven't heard that in the news. I've just heard people complaining about that, on podcasts and stuff. I don't know. I did really good in my placement matches, and I'm still in bronze. I've won 1 million matches. I'm still in bronze. I'm
It turns out that was a bug. That was
incredible. Okay, so it's it just feels like the sideshow Bob Rake situation. It really does. I guess. You kind of went over this a little bit, but do you think that in a month people are happy with Overwatch 2, or do you think in a month people aren't even talking about it, or they are still talking about it, but they're mostly complaining about it still?
Man, it's hard to say. I don't know if what can turn sentiment around. The one big thing is if that PvE mode comes out.
Yeah,
that's good. Otherwise, it's just going to be. Otherwise, it's going to be the people who are complaining but playing it anyways, which there could be a lot of. There could be a ton of those people still just playing Overwatch 2. I mean, there's a lot of people who complain about Overwatch 1 a lot, but we're still playing it. And the only reason they stopped is because they stopped releasing new content for it. Overwatch 2 seems like it has a content roadmap in terms of seasons and new heroes and new maps and stuff like that. None of that is going to be big enough to maybe flip the switch to Overwatch 2's amazing, actually. Maybe PvE will do that, but that's not imminent.
Yeah, the other thing, and I think I talked about this on the show today, if you try to get in the queue on some PC CPUs, it just raises your temperature up to 110 degrees, and the computer shuts down to protect the CPU from overheating. And it's like, man, these are just not Blizzard-style bugs. These are not the kind of bugs you would expect from a Blizzard game. I mean, maybe that was once true. Maybe these days.
Don't forget, gosh, remember, Warcraft 3 Reforged was not that long ago, Jeff.
Yeah, maybe.
They almost kind of got away with that one. It feels like as bad as that was, that was such a fumble.
It's not like Fallout. You're right. It's not like when Bethesda messes up or a handful of other studios have a big, boner, and everyone's like, no one ever gets over those games. But this one, no one really talks about Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Yeah, they got away with that. And, they basically ruined a beloved classic. They got rid of the old version. They did a really bad job. They just ruined it. People who play Warcraft 3 now are playing some fan thing instead. They don't even play the Blizzard game now.
That's right. One Up versus CPU. I said, have a big boner. I'm trying to make a boner with, I don't know. Well, fuck.
Yeah, there was some show that did a joke like that. Someone's big. Oh, that was, there's people show that comic of the Joker saying something about, because they're like, Joker made a boner, had a big boner, and people laugh because boner meant gaff or goof. Yeah,
exactly.
And
listen,
now we know that it means
just
Joe
Biden.
Fat, thick rock. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The Blizzard's thick, fat rod. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, it's not on me, and I've been told, Jeff, I'm not saying it was uncomfortable. A lot of people had thoughts to share with me about my rings of power. I'm not in the wallet anymore. Not in the wallet anymore.
Fair enough. I'm sure.
Apparently, it's a bad place to hold them. Apparently,
I'm sure there were a lot of condom experts reaching out to you, Mike. I'm sure there's a lot of people who know everything there is to know about condoms.
Well, that's what gamers are good for.
Yeah, exactly. So. And not just people who heard something once about how it's bad to keep condoms there and are repeating that.
They know from experience.
Yeah, totally experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, watching YouTube videos or some shit. All right, Mike, that does it for the big topics I wanted to discuss. We got a few super chats in. I see that they keep coming in. Why don't we read a few of those, and then we'll get to the Discord podcast producers' questions, and then we'll come back and get the rest at the end of the show.
Yeah. We had a few Leakin members renew.
I did see. I saw just a second ago. I saw a message from Luke Tone, who is a new name, I think. And shout out to everybody joining the channel.
Streak, and then G-Mincer had a 2-month streak, and Rigo Romero had a 7-month streak. So
shout out to y'all. I really appreciate that. Make sure you're all connecting your Discord stuff and hanging out in the Discord with us. That's fantastic.
Big Jimbo Ryan says, "How come no one told me Chris Pratt is Garfield?" I feel like we told you at some point.
Yes,
that's good because I had that theory.
Yes, and that's still the trailer for this channel, I think. So, or at least it was, where you explain your theory about how. What was it that Lorenzo? No,
it's like some executive was like, "All right, the voice for," it was like an episode of Parks and Rec was on, and the executive pointed at the screen, said, "Right, that's our voice for Garfield," and they met Nick Offerman, and then behind him was Chris Pratt in the scene, eating candy or whatever he does.
Yes, eating candy or whatever he does. Yeah, basically, yeah. So we definitely told you. This is your own fault for not listening close enough.
Nintenderic says, since it's about a month and a half out, any predictions on specific games to hit Black Friday sales this year? I don't know about games, but if Xbox Series S had a sale for Target days, I bet there's going to be some kind of Series S sale for Black Friday.
Yeah, I would. I think honestly, I might just get Jan an Xbox Series S on one of those sales if it comes to that, just so you can have one. But yeah, is Ubisoft releasing a game this holiday?
Though they were gonna release Skull and Bones.
Yeah, okay. Well, Skull and Bones, had it released, would have been on sale pretty quickly.
Did they just not have a major game this fall?
Feels like it. Yeah,
there must be something. Because We have no Assassin's Creed this year. We have no Far Cry. We have no Watch Dogs. Oh, Rabbids.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Rabbids won't be on sale. So
Rabbids won't be on sale. That one's always so weird because it's like a Nintendo game, but not
it's
really.
It's actually published by Ubisoft, so yeah, Ubisoft controls that stuff.
Yeah, which somebody in Nintendo jail really appreciates that fact. Actually, I get much more access to this than the real Nintendo games.
Man, Nintendo should let Ubisoft publish more games. Is what I'm thinking.
That's actually good. That's actually kind of good.
All right, you know what? This is what the gamer browser is for. All right, here we go. It is currently October 13th, so let's see here.
What if Gotham Knights could be? Gotham Knights
definitely could be. That's coming out like next week, right? Holy shit.
I don't think next week.
Yes, it is.
Soon-ish. Oh,
8
shit.
Days,
Never mind.
8 days from now.
What?
Yep. October 21st. So
it's Banana Land.
Yeah. I mean, we're there. It's time. Let's see. Banner.
I know it came out right. I bet Saints Row is gonna have a nice Black Friday sale.
Yeah. Resident Evil Village re-released or something, whatever. I'm trying to find like the brand new games, but Harvestella comes out November 4th. Probably not. Well, it could be a discount. Okay, here's the big one. Sonic Frontiers comes out November 8th.
Oh, well, it's hard to say because I feel like Sonic Frontiers will sell well, but also have a lot of discounts anyways.
Here's the one that will the newest game that will be significantly discounted by Black Friday. Oh no, because it comes out after Black Friday. I was gonna say Need for Speed Unbound. But that comes out like December 2nd or something like that. So yeah, that's December 2nd. So that'll be on sale by Christmas. So just wait for that one. Like 3 weeks later, you'll be able to get that for $40, I bet.
Alex PSX says, Jeff, I'm gonna snitch on Mike. He insulted you during the show. I mean,
what the fuck?
Obviously I did, but like, be more specific. like which show? I mean,
yeah, that's like the whole point here. Yeah.
I assume it means one that you weren't on last week. Otherwise, like, why snitch on me? You would be real. Here. Yeah.
Wait, Marvel's Midnight Suns is also coming December 2nd. I wonder if the gamer browser is indeed lying to me again. Christian, I see you right in that. Oh, well.
Yeah. It is full of lies. Gratilda's Bazungas says FMK. So if we're playing Fuck, Marry, Kill here, Jimbo Ryan, Don Metric, Phil Harrison. I feel like we've done this before.
And we don't play Fuck, Marry, Kill with real people. We don't do that. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. We could play. There was an alternative game that we came up with.
Yes, it's true. We should not say we want to kill somebody.
Yes.
Let's say
even maybe not even fuck them.
Best friend,
roommate,
acquaintance, and stay away from me. Give me back my purse.
Okay. All right. So who's it? Jim Ryan.
Best friend. Who's your best friend? Jim Ryan, Don Metric, Phil Harrison.
Well, Jim Ryan, of course.
Well, yeah. Okay, then who's acquaintance?
See, Phil Spencer. Yeah, I would like to be acquainted with Phil Spencer. That feels right.
So Don Metric is here. Give me back my purse.
Hey, I don't know you.
I don't know you. Give me back my purse. All right. Game Explain says 3D World is more 2D Mario than Yoshi's Island. I mean, it certainly has more mechanics from Super Mario 3D World than Yoshi's Island does. I agree.
I love that he's upset about this too. Thank you so much. Shout outs, man. I'm glad we could get you so angry that you felt the need to super chat.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Game Explain.
Just come on to Game Best Mornings and I'll let you yell about it there.
At first I was like, what? And I realized, oh shit, I just say things. Game Explain. Holy shit. Yeah. Thank you. By the way, like Dan has like the thing where he like asks Shigeru Miyamoto about like if Yoshi's Island is a core Mario game. He's like, look, he said it. And I'm like, man, it's not like you just sat down and then like Shiggy in perfect English, like, I understand this question and what you mean.
Right.
Like, there's no way he really understood what you're talking about and that it was translated well.
Even if he did, it's like a series of interviews with a bunch of shitty little journalists from America that he doesn't care about, especially Dan.
Especially Dan.
And he's like, what do I got to say to get this freak to leave me alone? Yes, go away.
Go away. Go avoid more soup.
Yes. Opaque food that he's afraid of because it's an abyss. Motherfucker.
RDX Son of a Fett says Take-Two just came out and defended the deal. I think they did that a bit earlier, actually, but they basically just said that they're, whatever. They're fine. If they basically said if it's good for Daddy Xbox, it's good for us.
Yeah, Strauss-Zelnick, yes. Tim,
why should they care?
Yeah, exactly. I just don't see how it would affect them all that much at all. In fact, a healthy Xbox probably benefits them a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know.
Big Jimbo Ryan said, I don't know if you're here, Xbox Killer, but please refrain from being toxic for the time being in case any regulators are watching. Oh, so that's what's going on. He's behaving.
One of our review says Miyamoto speaks English. He definitely understands English and speaks some English, yes.
Okay, well, look, now you guys are trying to make me feel bad, and it won't work.
Man, you're being really rude to Miyamoto again.
I had a dog named Shiggy. Actually, some people might consider that an insult to have a dog named after you, right?
In some cultures, yes. I don't know if... I think Shigeru Miyamoto seems like the type that would be pretty chill about that.
Yeah, I guess so. I bet if I met him and told him I named a dog after him, he would like me more than Dan.
Yes.
Not that I just want to talk about Dan more, but the fact that at one point his big gotcha moment for Mario 3D World not being a core Mario game is he's like, well, I have a shelf of core Mario games and I didn't put 3D World on there. Like, yeah, no shit, you didn't. We know that you don't think it is.
Oh my god, it is like a 4-year-old. It really is like talking to Addy. Oh my god,
is Super Mario 3D World a beep? Big Jimbo Ryan back again. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Says mag squared ?
Yes.
Maybe pronounce mag too.
Nope. Yes, mag squared. Yes. So what is that? 256 players? Hell yeah, let's do it.
Holy shit! Yeah,
actually, dude. If it's squared, it's what 128 times 128.
Oh damn! What is that?
Like 1500-ish or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go nuts.
Let's get fucking nuts.
I mean, you say that, but I bet like PlanetSide 2 maybe actually had things
150,000
like that. Look, I don't. You could tell me any number, and as long as it seems like high enough, I'll believe you when it comes to squaring things. There's a lot of people are actually like, why don't they just bring back Killzone or Resistance? Do you think they would do that, or Mag? Let's throw it in there, or SOCOM. I wonder if they wouldn't just be like, here's like the brand new live service first person shooter AAA thing from Sony, and it's some new thing.
Yeah, I think it's Yeah, listen, there's reasons to bring back existing IP all the time. Those things are, they're established. They have those benefits, but none of those are so well established that they are like some sacred thing that everyone's going to know. You almost have to do just as much work for bringing back. Even like SOCOM. Like, yeah, a lot of people will be excited for SOCOM. You get a jump start there. But not so much that you don't have to do a million other things to get people to recognize that it's something to be excited about. So at a certain point, maybe having a fresh IP is more beneficial because it doesn't come with expectations in the same way that a SOCOM game would.
SOCOM definitely makes the most sense if they were to do one. Although maybe
first-person shooter, because then it was a third person. So you're gonna make this one first person. How are people gonna feel about that?
What about Resistance versus Killzone? Maybe if you combined both of them, that would be something, maybe.
Yeah, Resistance versus Killstone, or Resistance meets Killzone, and it's just like Flintstones meet the Jetsons.
Well, I was thinking more Alien versus Predators, like they gotta versus each other. But then the problem is like, well, those two games play differently. So like, what is it gonna play like? Slippery Moose Cake says, can you confirm a Batman Beyond game by Rocksteady? Jeff, I believe that we can not confirm that.
Yeah, there's no way I can. No, I have no idea. I've never even heard that rumor before, but I might get asked around. But I'm going to tell you probably right now.
I bet it's wishful thinking.
It sounds like wishful thinking.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I know why we're not hearing about Suicide Squad very much because they got to like get Gotham Knights promoted, but it still feels weird how little we have heard about Suicide Squad.
Torian says, not possible. Batman is dead.
Well, that's the whole point of Batman Beyond is about like a new Batman. So
yeah, but it's being trained by old
Gotham
Batman,
Knights is about.
I mean, he faked his death and he's training the new Batman. Okay, I like it.
What is actually like? What are the what is the percentage you think that Batman does just show up in Gotham Knights? Do you think it actually is from beginning to end? Batman is not in that game.
100% Batman is in that game.
Now, okay, is he in the game in a flashback, or is he in the game in the like ongoing story? He's back and he's
halfway
not
through
dead.
That game. You do the mission to find him or whatever, and he's back, and he is playable by the end of the game.
I think you might be right. I think that might be right. And I'll tell you what, that'll be a good ripcord for them if like sales are sliding behind. Here's the commercial with Batman in it. And then from
he's playable, fair enough. I think he's going to be a skin for one of the other players or something like that. But yes, fair enough.
I bet who knows? Totodile
fighter.
who's been Totodile, who's been chilling out in my Twitch chat, by the way. Thank you. Says, will Mario movie have Wario and Waluigi end credits? No, I think it's a Yoshi end credits. I think it's the cracking egg show. It's gonna be an egg. It's gonna crack, and then black. That's what I think the post credits is.
Cool.
You weren't listening, were you?
No, not really. Is this what the post credit scene for the new one?
Yeah, he was asking if it was Wario and Waluigi.
Okay. I actually do think it'll be Wario. I think it'll at least be Wario.
I think Yoshi all the way.
I think
tell you what, if it's Wario, I owe you a Coke.
Fair enough.
Jeff, that's it for the super chats for now. If you all listening right now live want to send in a super chat, we will read them by the end of the show. Don't you worry about that. If you are watching live, please give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it, and it helps more people find the show, and it just makes me feel better about myself, and, good. Jeff, why don't we take a little break?
That is exactly what I was going to suggest. We'll see you all in just a second.
The Yoshingle Hatch in Madison Square Garden. I get that Godzilla 1999 or whatever reference.
Oh, man. Matthew Broderick killed a man.
Man, yes, he did. He certainly did. That would be I wonder if that's on Amazon Prime.
Matthew Broderick killing a man?
Yes.
Oh, Godzilla. Yeah, I would watch that movie again. I've not watched it since it came out. Hey,
Right,
and Frodo Tim, welcome to Hamilton. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it, man.
Alexander Hamilton.
How's everybody doing tonight? Am I watching any shows? Let me tell you a little bit about a show called Andor, which is the best fucking shit. I have been waiting for this show for I was a kid, and I'd seen Star Wars a little bit, but I was in a conversion van on my way to summer camp. And it wasn't like my family's. It was like, summer camp. So I was riding with like the Scoutmaster or whatever. And the kid who was the kid of the Scoutmaster, they had the VCR in the conversion van. And it was, they just put in Empire Strikes Back. And I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, this is the rest of my life. And just thinking about like what Star Wars could be like that summer camping for years and years later, it's just like, man, I can't wait till they do something about like getting more stories about all these other characters in the background, and like what their lives are like, and what the economy is like. How do they scrape together credits? This is that fucking show. Oh my God, it's so good. And it like people are like, oh, it's boring, nothing happens. It's like, no. They're just building up slowly and putting more and more cool details into the detail bank. And then episode 6 comes and cashes every single one of those checks. It's so fucking good.
I somehow also had associate the original trilogy with vans. Because I was in a van that had a VCR player in it, and I would be just kind of in there while my brother had football practice or whatever. I would just watch Star Wars on repeat.
It's like those old. It was the CBS ones, the first run of VHS tapes before they did the one with the half, like the Yoda Vader Stormtrooper.
See, I had the Yoda Vader Stormtrooper.
I had those. That's what I had, but like this kid had those original CBS ones. So yeah,
it was kind of funny that one was just Stormtrooper.
It's boring. Nothing happens. Describes 70% of what Jeff loves. That's Turbo Sean, which is fair. I will get pretty mad if people suggest that nothing happens in Andor for those first 5 episodes. That just means the person watching is boring. And,
yeah, that's always
a personal insult. I do mean that.
That's always a weird thing to say.
Yeah,
something must be happening. It's
all like
people are talking or they're showing you something.
Yes, it's character development and it's world development. So much awesome world development is happening in that show where you just see how these like early rebels are thinking about themselves and what they think about mercenaries, and it's a show you could talk about and have a conversation about in a way that's beyond like, oh, that baby Yoda is cute. It definitely is cute, and I like that too. But
Jeff, you seem to like it so earnestly that I am not going to do anything snarky or snide.
I mean, your particular criticism is still 100% fair. It was weird that the first time we saw that character in a movie, he killed a man in cold blood. It is just a weird choice. And I think if they could do it over again, they would not have made that choice. But yeah. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so we're back, and it's time to get to the podcast producers' questions here in Discord. If you want to be a podcast producer, again, you can hit that join button here. You can go to the Patreon, patreon.com/GameMess, And that will get you, like access to here where we have questions like this one from Turbo Sean, who says, "Happy Thursday, Mike, Kimmy, Jimbo, Minotti, and Jeff. One step away from saying Mario, Grubb."
That one is always something. I mean, the asshole says his own name constantly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I bet the people who say Mario grew up with a lot of Marios in, New Jersey and New York, and at a certain point, I'm like, whatever. I actually don't care about this one all that much. But he does pronounce it Mario himself. He says, "So, what do you guys tell the stylist when you go get a haircut?"
I was going to like an old school barber for a bit anyways. It used to be walking distance from my apartment. And it's like a game of, but he would even just have beer there. He's like, "Have beer, drink it as much as you want. I don't care. I will charge you for it." So that was fine. I kind of liked it. But then after a while, I was like, this is a waste of money. I can do this myself in 5 minutes. I'm just buzzing my head. But yeah.
I just go in there and I say, "Fuck me up." Just really fuck me up.
You say, "Fuck me up, Buttercup"?
Fuck me up, Buttercup. No, I have not been to a barber or stylist in years. They never know what to do with my hair. It is a conundrum for them. I thought, I'm just being silly. Eventually you'll find someone that can do it. And nope, I went to the great clips and the sports clips. And then I went to my mom's high-end stylist that like deals with curly hair all the time on women. And curly hair on a man just could not be more of a confusing thing for stylists. They just cannot get it right. So I just let it grow. And then when it gets too much, I trim it up a little bit, or occasionally, several times now, I've buzzed it all off and then just started growing it again. And we'll see. I mean, hey, if Metroid Prime doesn't come out this holiday, which it's getting down to the wire, hey, that's what's going to happen here pretty soon. So I'll make some content of that or whatever. You guys can all see it.
I don't know if I want to see it, but it's coming.
Yeah,
it's gonna be weird. I was gonna say something and then you just completely threw me off with picturing you being bald again. So I can just.
Oh, it's not gonna be bald. It'll be buzzed. Like you're not gonna see my bald head.
It'll look like me.
No, it's gonna be. I'll still have like the one size thing.
It's not helping. It's still gonna be fucking weird.
Yeah, it will be weird. I think I'll look like. Right. I think I will look like a shit. Actually, I think I would.
You'll look like a turd. You mean?
No, like you go to a bar and you see a guy throwing off bad vibes. I think I will look like that if I have the beard and really short hair on top. I think like this guy thinks he's tough, and obviously I am not. But I think I would give off those vibes. But we'll see.
I think that's exactly right.
From Hired Sword, hello Mike, Mikey, Likey, Minotti, and Jeff, Sumptuous Grubb. A big welcome back to Jeff. I can't believe he took you back, Mike. Not sure if I would after all your outbursts. No real question today, but I figure since you've been tricked into watching a few different anime, Jeff, I wanted to suggest watching Vinland Saga. It's a pretty mature show about Vikings with some pretty great themes. I like these ones that are a little bit maybe more off the beaten path. I kind of don't want to watch My Hero Academia just because people are always praise it so much. Like I obviously that's a stupid way to be, but it's just kind of where I'm at with that. But I also I'm in the mood for sports content, like sports anime even. So I'm looking for Keijo. Yeah, sure. I guess I'll start there.
You'll watch that one with me. Don't worry.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. From the Uncharted Wolf. Hey Jeff, Jim Ryan's favorite YouTuber Grubb, and Mike. I'm ready to talk about Uncharted 4 when you are, Minotti. Seeing as review season is about to hit us hard, how about we predict the Metacritic scores for these upcoming games? I like this. All right, let's go, Mike. Gotham Knights.
82.
79. 80. Okay, Bayonetta 3.
It's going to get docked for performance, I feel like, but people are going to be so maybe like an 84.
81. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That one's hard.
I'm going to say 78.
Really? It has been kind of trending downwards now.
I think people are going to be mad at this one, yeah.
You think so? I'll be more optimistic. I'll say 86.
Sonic Frontiers, and in parentheses, the Uncharted Wolf writes, Goaty.
This one's hard. This one is so hard, Jeff. I bet it's
79. I think it doesn't make the 80.
I think it's 75.
God of War Ragnarok.
91.
I think it's 91.
hard.
I think it's 91 too. But
Yeah.
I'll go with 90.
You'd say the same.
I'm gonna say 92. I'll go with 92.
Okay. All right.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
83.
Yeah, I wish this one I should probably just look up other Pokemon ones to see how they do, but I'll just say 84. Callisto Protocol.
Man, that's hard.
That's real tough. I'm gonna be optimistic, and I'm going to say 85.
That sounds right. I'm just gonna piggyback and say 85.
High on Life. I'm gonna be pessimistic and say 72. I think the game's probably not gonna be very good.
Which one's that?
It's the one with Justin Roiland. So it's the guns are Rick and Morty.
Is that what that game's called?
High on Life, yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That one might get torn apart. I'll say 76.
And that does it. Any other games that we should call out? That's a good list. Thank you, Uncharted Wolf. That was a good idea.
That does seem to be the big ones coming out this holiday.
And Wolf, could you do me a favor and just record what we said, and we'll come back to it?
Oh no.
Yeah, if you remember, like it's not like obviously not your job, but if you remember and you want to like revisit this after the holidays, let me know. From Jayton, how's it going, lads? Question for Mike. Given that the mainline title Super Mario Odyssey has Pauline, a character who originated in Donkey Kong 1981, like how Jayton's just trying to lawyer you right now, among other references to the game, doesn't that make Donkey Kong also a mainline Mario game?
I mean, look, I get it. It's like this is what I'm talking about. Like what makes sense to your heart. To me, I'm thinking like the Super Mario Brothers like series, and that starts with Super Mario Brothers and like the 2D platforming side-scrolling thing. There's got to be some kind of scrolling. How about we say that? I know it's a weird rule, but there must be scrolling of some sort. I'm not counting Donkey Kong. I'm not counting.
According to Mario.nintendo.com/history, Donkey Kong is not a mainline Super Mario Brothers game.
All right, well, there you go.
Beefhammer, does the core gaming audience too often misremember a classic game franchise with being popular? For all the internet begging for a new Silent Hill game, the total sales of the entire series is only about 9 million copies. Similarly, people ask Sucker Punch for a new Sly Cooper, but the last game is estimated to have sold under 1 million copies. How much potential do these IPs really have when we know a developer can make a new IP that can become very popular, such as Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves or Ghost of Tsushima to go with Sucker Punch. I mean, there's always truth to that. And it's always kind of funny, like, which ones people do really start to clamor for. Like, the Dino Crisis thing was a little confusing to me when everyone's like, we really want a new Dino Crisis. It's like, I mean, I have nothing against you if you like Dino Crisis, but that suddenly got very loud. Even before that girl looked like the Dino Crisis person and whatever the hell that game was, everybody's like, where's Dino Crisis? Obviously, there should be a new Dino Crisis. Like, should there? Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Now, granted, all these older franchises, 9 million was a lot more back then than maybe it is today, right?
Yes, definitely. I think this both things are true here, where 9 million was pretty good for a Silent Hill series that mostly existed in an older era, a smaller era of gaming where there were just less of us. Period. Still, 9 million, not a ton, and it's like right on the bubble, which is probably why it hasn't happened until this point. I think a lot of a series like Silent Hill does have the potential to be adjacent to Resident Evil's success. And it's the right genre. It has the right sort of aura about it. It has the name recognition. People talk about it so much that even if you haven't played it, if a new one gets announced, you're going to be interested to see what those people are saying and maybe see the game for yourselves. It has that potential, but it's not a guarantee, I think is what you're trying to say. And I think I agree overall with Beefhammer's point that we overestimate and misremember just how popular some things were. From Giggy64, hey, Messy Beefs, what are you two dressing up as for Halloween? I realized I have the glasses to pull off Milo Thatch from Atlantis The Lost Empire, but I also would have to get my hair cut, and I don't want to yet, so I'm trying to think of a new one. Atlantis The Lost Empire, is the Michael J. Fox one, right?
Yeah.
So he'd have to do kind of the 90s anime protagonist thing where it's like the center cut and it comes out like that. Is that what he has?
He kind of has, I don't know how you describe it. No, it's just like, it's biggish hair. I don't know. He's like a nerd, but he has nice hair, but it's kind of unkempt. I don't know how I would describe it.
No, yeah, he's got the '90s anime protagonist hair, just like.
Does he have it?
Just like the protagonist of Titan AE. It's the.
Yeah, it's very similar. I think you're right. You're right.
Yes.
I don't know why I have a hard time picturing it. I've seen this movie like 20 times. I can't picture it.
He's a nerd, but he's a beefcake when he takes off when he has the tank top. So yeah.
Gangly beefcake, if such a thing exists.
Sure. Yeah. Yes.
What are you gonna be for Halloween, Jeff?
I mean, it's a very excellent question. I don't know. I think I probably should figure it out this week, though. Let me ask Addie if she would want to do I'm Frankenstein, and she'll be like the little girl. But
does she know what happens to the little girl?
The little girl is fine, right? Doesn't Frankenstein just get sucked into the portal? And because I'm talking about Monster Squad.
Oh, okay. So in actual Frankenstein, the whole thing is that he kills a little girl by accident. That's like the whole thing.
We're doing Monster Squad, and Frankenstein gets sucked.
What the fuck is Monster Squad?
It's only the best Halloween monster movie of all time.
I was like, Jeff, that's a dark costume, man.
No, okay. Listen, you're not wrong. Fair enough. But I am thinking Monster Squad instead of me murdering my kids. Like, that's not the angle I was going for, Mike. Surprisingly.
I was like, whoa, people are going to get that. Oh, wow, it's Frankenstein, and you must be the little girl that he murders.
Well, I guess that idea's out the window. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah. I saved you.
Man, Monster Squad's so fun, though. I wonder if I could just look like the Monster Squad one. That probably wouldn't help. What are you going to go as?
Oh, I bought a Sonic the Hedgehog onesie. I looked. I was like, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking of characters I look like, really. So I just had to do something goofy, and I wanted to be comfortable because I have a couple parties I'm going to. I was gonna onesie. It's not like the Sonic costume that Dan was wearing during your bombathon that had pieces and stuff.
Right.
It is literally just a slip-on onesie thing, and fuck it. Uncle Fester hired. I even thought about that, but the problem is that I'm going to a wedding in the beginning of November. So normally I'll just shave my shit off and I'll whatever. I don't really want to do that if I'm going to a wedding right after Halloween. George Costanza again, I could do that. Even Columbo, I thought about, but again, all stuff I'd have to shave off my beard, and I don't really want to completely change up my look before this wedding.
Yeah, and that's I'm in that same boat. I guess I'll just be the dude. I'll just go get a dude sweater.
I thought about being the dude, actually.
Yeah,
I was like, I could pull that. I'm not even the biggest Big Lebowski fan. I'm like, oh, that'd be easy.
Monster Squad is on Prime Video, I think.
There you go.
Is this the right one?
Watch party.
Yeah, we're going to do a watch party for this. This is, all right. Oh, no, it's Paramount Plus. God, I hate this thing. Why is Prime Video so bad at that? All right, yeah. Let's see here. From Epic Open World, hello, Gamer Browser Bros. Jeff, we are only a couple of months from the Game Awards. Have you heard anything that might show up there? Starfield, Redfall, Dragon Age. There was some rumors going around something was going to show up there. What was that? The pizza cost 12. Oh, that new Crash Wumpa League thing.
That's right. Crash something, which...
Yeah, okay.
Glad there's more Crash. I would have liked Crash 5, because Crash 4 is
fantastic. And one way to get Crash 5 is by getting Wumpa League first. They got to put that game out first, because that game's been, swirling around for such a long time. It's, nice that at least that's coming out. That's, a good sign for maybe a Crash 5 someday. Beyond that, I think it's still a tiny bit too early to really be nailing that stuff down. This is going to be an interesting Game Awards because we're coming out of a period where a lot of studios struggling just to keep on top of the stuff that they needed to do to ship their games, and so a lot of studios were taking the time to make trailers, even just a trailer. And this is I've confirmed this with many developers. It's not just making playable demos for E3 that was a problem. Even making a trailer is a big disruption for the teams. And I think we really felt that last Game Awards where it's man, I mean, we know a lot of stuff's coming out, but we're still not getting a ton of announcements at this thing that has a lot of viewers. It feels like this should be the ideal place for a lot of big announcements, and it just wasn't. If this Game Awards is the same way, I think it's just where we are going to be entering a period where these studios and developers and publishers are just going to kind of be holding their stuff back until they find a really easy way, or they're much closer to the end of development when they can just put together a trailer really easily with the final version or a near final build. And that could hurt the Game Awards, but I think a lot of developers and publishers are going to say, "Oh well, that's not our problem." So we'll see. I'll keep my ears open, and we'll see if we can do some updates on the Game Awards here in the next couple of weeks.
Is there any chance anything but Elden Ring wins Game of the Year at the Game Awards? By the way,
no, there's zero chance. I'm like, there's never been a more sure bet in the history.
No way Ragnarok. It's hard to imagine Ragnarok really being like the last God of War one. I think already. It's hard to imagine the game that, as good as it looks, is like definitely that game too.
Yep.
So
Elden Ring was just such a cultural phenomenon. In a way, even God of War is not. And it's it's going to help that Elden Ring was multi-platform, and God of War is just going to be on PlayStation and stuff. And it's like there's just be more voters who can vote on Elden Ring. So, yeah. From Gruntilda's ass. Sup, dudes? Catching up a bit. Glad to hear Rebecca be on the correct side of the N64 versus GameCube debate. And Mike, please teach everyone about what a mainline Mario game is. Lol.
I do my best. If people yell, I saw Canooble's yelling at me for saying Yoshi Island doesn't count, which is like, again, I don't. And every time it's like, it has Mario World 2 in the title. I beg people to think outside of that thing, right, and think beyond that aspect and how nothing else about it makes it a Mario game.
Super Mario World 2 being on the box, it was very much felt like a marketing decision. It just felt like, oh, we want people to realize that this is from that team. And sure, yeah, so you play as Yoshi, but it's basically the next Mario game, right? And it just felt like that was not a decision made in the design room. It was made by some other team.
Now, the real problem is, again, we care about this much more than they care. But you think they ever ask themselves, now, are we going to consider this a core Mario game?
Not
I know that's
time,
a concept.
No way.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And so I'm assuming Rebecca was Team N64?
Yeah, I think she was Team N64.
She just has to be that age where that's what she was playing when she was like, what, 5 to 10 or something like that. So... yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's hard to say. I mean, the 64 and GameCube are so close together that sometimes that can get kind of nebulous. Like, we're young. Like, I was young for both of those, and I still just like GameCube more.
From Danger Man Lead, hey guys, with a new Elden Ring patch being already data mined, indicating new DLC, will there be a the Game Awards announcement for both? You think?
I think there's definitely going to be DLC announcement at the Game Awards.
I think there's going to be a trailer for something new at the Game Awards. I agree. I think they had a lot of success announcing that Summer Game Fest. They'll just want to keep that relationship going, and Jeff Keighley's very good at maintaining relationships once he has them. Have you noticed that he hasn't said anything sort of like shitty towards E3 since they announced that they're coming back?
Yes, I have noticed that. He hasn't been snippy, huh?
Not been snippy, which to me suggests negotiations are ongoing. I will be interested to see what that looks like. And if it falls apart, then I would expect the snippiness to return. Or maybe he'll be like, listen, this time it's just, two teams can't decide, and I have respect for Reed Pop or something. That's possible. From Screaming Madden. Hey, Game Messers. I have no gaming questions, so I'll ask something Ohio sports related. Marry, fuck, kill, but Ohio sports mascots. This one's good, not real people. Yes. Your choices are Brownie the Elf, Mustard from the Cleveland hot dog races, and Brutus Buckeye. We are killing Brutus Buckeye.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that.
I know you do, because it's the right answer.
Yeah, he's a freak. We are definitely we're marrying Mustard. Mustard is a sweet boy. Mustard will do right by all of us.
I've been catching up on the lore there, and I'm big into Mustard. Catching up on catch upping on the lore. Yes. And yeah, so that means we're fucking Brownie the Elf, which also feels like the right answer.
Yeah, this is all just falling into
there's
place.
A reason they call him Brownie.
Man. I can't believe Slider escaped this one. Good on Slider.
From Mr. Bowler, hey Game Messers, an excerpt from William Shatner's new book was published where he talks about his trip to space he took last year, where he said, I had thought that going into space would be the ultimate catharsis, but when we got up there was no mystery, no majestic awe to behold. All I saw was death. Which video game world would you want to visit only to immediately realize that it wasn't anything like you had hoped, and that instead it just brought you sadness?
Mushroom Kingdom could be like that for some reason. Like, this is just weird, and this is bad. Mushrooms are actually a sign of decay and death.
Yeah, like this fungus only grows where nothing else will, and it overtakes everything. And It means that this place is unhealthy. And looking up close at these mushrooms, it's like, ugh, there's something uncomfortable about looking at their like fleshy underbellies. Yeah.
The other one would be like, oh, take me to Fire Emblem Three Houses. Then you go and you realize, like, oh, it's medieval times. Everyone smells awful. Oh, no. The waifus aren't so sexy when they just smell like BO and sweat. Oh, no.
The waifus are hairy. The waifus are hairy
and their teeth are decayed. Oh, no, this isn't sexy. Now I just live in poverty and shit in a bucket.
That's got its upsides. From Winnie, hello, Jeff. My name is Bob. We had a baby. It's a boy. Grubb. And Mike, nobody's called collect since 98. Minotti. What's the thing that brought you? Do you remember that commercial? 1-800-COLLECT? Okay,
oh, yeah.
Please say your name after the tone. My name is Bob. We had a baby. It's a boy. Yeah. Okay. You remember that, Glad?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember for a while there was like a bunch of 1-800-COLLECT competitors and they each had commercials. And man, that's a concept that kids just wouldn't understand.
Not even wait, that like Dennis Miller is going to come on your TV and tell you how to dial a phone to give them money for it. Like what?
Yeah.
Your brother. Okay. What's a thing that that brought you joy today? And then it says your brother in Colombo, Winnie. Thank you, Winnie.
Oh man, I do like Colombo. I wish I watched Colombo today, and I can say that's what brought me joy. I actually had my nieces were dropped off here for like an hour randomly because my brother and his wife had to go to the like parent teacher conferences, so they just needed like somewhere for them to be. So they're just kind of hanging out while I was working and stuff, and just hanging out with them for a little bit was pretty nice. The one is still very insistent that she gets to do a podcast with me for her next birthday. That's gonna be her birthday gift. So.
That's really fun.
Yeah, so she's 8, and she's like, it's gonna be called "Why the Heck Is There a Kid Here?" So, so I'll start promoting that now. That's sometime in March. That'll be happening.
Fantastic. Yeah, when I got done with the voicemail dump truck, I went upstairs, and Amy had been home for a while, but she hadn't seen me, and so she like Dada and like screamed. That was nice. That brought me joy. And then they all her and Addie wanted to come down here and turn on the Brown Guy game, which is Sackboy, not a human being who is brown, which would be a lot more uncomfortable. They're just talking about Sackboy.
Yeah, I'd have to put him in my bottom tier in my Overwatch tier list.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's joking, everybody. He's joking.
I'm joking. Watch the tier list. You'll get the context.
But yeah, it's mostly just been like also getting ready for this trip. Oh, the other thing, I put a cover on my steering wheel in my minivan. I was at Walmart and I saw, it was like a nice leather one, and it
big life decision.
It was, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't think it's gonna fit, and then I got it to fit, and that's when I got the joy, because it was like, it is a snug fit, and it's not gonna slide around. This is real nice, and so that
ring of power.
Yeah, that was my ring of power, exactly.
Right. You know what didn't bring me joy though is that I got so excited when you talked about Extra Life, and then it's the weekend I'm gonna be in fucking Florida. And
when do you get back from that?
I get back like Monday.
Okay, I was gonna say we can maybe do it Monday, but if you're just getting back, I'm not gonna make you.
Well, I get back early Monday.
Let's see. Let me look and see what the time slots are available, and if there's something on Monday, we'll
maybe if not, maybe we'll do or at least I'll do like a Game S one, and at some point.
Yeah, you can at least be on the team. Exactly. Yes. Because the Giant Bomb team is one of the biggest teams there is. So yeah, you should definitely join it, and that goes for all y'all. If you want to stream for Extra Life, please join the Giant Bomb team. We are really going to try to go all out this year. All right, let's see. From Velocity Prime. Fuck yeah, it's Thursday for the mess makers. Important question: when Splatoon 3 eventually outsells Splatoon 2, should it be the new benchmark for true success that Luigi's Mansion 3 currently occupies? This third entry in a series that started on a failed platform that has sold better than every Final Fantasy game.
I think in some way this success was more predictable than Luigi's Mansion 3.
And also, if this one feels like it is an especially strong success, and
it's too successful.
It's too successful, right? Luigi's Mansion 3 is a surprise success. Definitely, it is it's really up there. But it's like, oh, you think this game sold a lot, but it didn't even sell as much as Luigi's Mansion 3. That's powerful. Saying like, oh, this game didn't sell as much as Splatoon 3 in a couple of years. Like, well, yeah, fucking nothing does. Nothing sells that good.
That's the fun thing about Luigi's Mansion 3. A lot of people don't know that it like sold over 10 million copies. That's why it's fun to bring it out like that.
Right. Oh, it's like, yes. Oh, hey, Sony announces that The Last of Us Part 2 sold 10 million copies. Not as much as Luigi's Mansion 3. Like that's... Yeah. There's something there.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's also like it feels like it's illustrative of what the industry is, or like what the realities on the ground. Where Splatoon 3 obviously is just this world-beating success. 6 million copies sold. It seems like it's approaching in Japan alone.
Right. Yeah. When we get the actual sales numbers, like the next quarter earnings from them, that's going to be interesting.
Bananas. Yes, exactly. Hey, Jeff and Mike. This one comes from Bench JC. I have a question. What do you think about games with false marketing to give story impact? The most recent example I can think of is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know it's a topic that some people argue over. Also, the core Mario games are the 2D and 3D platformers. Everyone, I can see a bunch of edits here, like, oh, edited. Everyone obviously just edited their things today after hearing that.
That's great.
Let's see. So the most recent example I can think of, I don't know what this is actually referring to. What was this?
I'm forgetting this, but I understand. I forget what it was.
I get the concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I think of is like the Marvel movies that like show, Hulk fighting this other thing, and it like turns out, actually he was fighting the Iron Man suit, the Hulkbuster or whatever, and we didn't want to show that in the trailer, but we wanted to show some action, so we tricked you. And I'm all for that usually in trailers.
Yeah, I like being lied to. I like because then my expectations are different. Yeah, I have no problem with it. I don't know if I maybe like it as strong. I certainly don't mind it.
I like my game marketing how I like my women, lying to me to make me feel better.
I do like that.
Oh, yeah, who doesn't? All right, let's see. From Octo. Yo, Jeff, Scissor Devil Daddy Grubb, and Mike, Infinity Condom Rings of Power, Minotti. Do you all remember Hybrid, that weird 5th level shooter where you didn't manually move? Never got to play it, and now it's dead. Seemed neat. Are there any dead/inaccessible games that you miss or wish you had the chance to try? Your Columbo friend/fiend, Radu. P.S. I regale you with pixel art versions of Jack Nicholson and Vincent Price from the 1993 adventure game Shadow of the Comet. They use many actors without permission, of course.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'll bring these up on the thing right now. In the meantime, do you have an answer to never got to play Are there any dead and accessible games that you miss or wish you had the chance to try?
So first off, I didn't play Hybrid. I don't know really much about that. But so not Monday Night Combat, Super Monday Night Combat, the sequel that was much more MOBA-y. Me and AJ, my brother, we liked that a lot actually. And it never found an audience, but we thought it was fun. We thought it was really funny. Had these great commentary lines, because the whole marketing thing was rules have changed, because that's the sequel hook. It's different than the last one. Rules have changed. So these guys just kept saying rules have changed every time, they were forced to. And me and AJ till this day will be rules have changed. I don't know. They'll go on this long rant. It's wow, everything's just so different there, Bob. Yeah, everything's great. This guy just yes, and rules have changed, and I would be happy. But yeah, it did not do well. It did not last. It's been gone for a long time. When I say it, most people think I'm talking about the original, because that was an Xbox Live Arcade game back when being an Xbox Live Arcade game was a big deal.
Yes, I do remember these two distinct versions of the games and stuff, but yeah, I never played. I think I just played Super Monday Night Combat, right? That's the one.
You just probably played the first one, Monday Night Combat.
Okay, Monday. Okay, okay, yeah, right.
And then Super Monday Night Combat was the one that I liked. It was much more MOBA-y.
Right. Okay. I plan to play before it's dead Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier.
Man, that is something. I can't believe I understand, you want the mobile version, of course. I can't believe they're this is only going to be on phones.
Just put it on phones and Switch if you're going to be like that. Because there's something about, just having that, just put it on a console. And the one I think that makes the most sense is Switch, where it's a lot of people have it. Some people do play a lot of those kinds of games on Switch anyhow. It would probably run fine on there. It was weird. Just give it a chance on a console as well. I mean,
at least put it on PC. Also,
yeah, PC.
How hard could that be? Yeah. I don't know. They sent me a shirt, and I feel like I'm going to treasure that shirt now.
Yeah. my Atari Hotel shirt is put away someplace safe, because they're never going to open one of those. So
that's right.
Yeah. I've not played it yet, but I will play that Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale.
People say it's not bad.
It seems
a lot of people were confused it even came out, I think.
Lucia says, Pokemon Unite runs much better on most phones than the Switch version. I mean, yeah, most phones are more powerful than the Switch now. That's fair. From Hosp, hey, yo, Messy Boys. Scientists announced this week that they have managed to get lab-grown brain cells to play Pong. To the wider world, this seems impressive, but come on, it's only fucking Pong. Which game would be more impressive? I mean, I want to see some brain cells play a Booger Man. I think that would be much more impressive.
Yeah, I want to see him do a fucking what's that Pokemon challenge run? I want to see a Nuzlocke run.
Yeah.
How many lab grown brain cells do we need to see to get that done?
Play Honey Pop and then tell me which one's your favorite, and tell me where the butthole should be instead of where it is.
Play Honey Pop and pick a waifu.
Yeah, pick a waifu and then tell me the relationship between the butthole and the vagina and how they need to be in different spots. Then I'll trust this brain. Until then. From Jumpmat, hey guys, how quickly do you think Activision Blizzard games come to Game Pass after the acquisition is complete? Will they be added over time or dropped all at once? I think that many will come on day one, and then there will probably be some stragglers here and there that have various reasons, whether those are marketing reasons or technological reasons or contractual reasons. But most, I think, will come on day one.
Yeah, for Bethesda, I feel like there's two big drops where we got all of those, and a lot of them were on day one. So I'm sure it'll be similar to that. There might be like one that's just the Call of Duty day, and it's just here's all the past Call of Duties, right? But yeah, there's a lot of that Blizzard stuff is going to come immediately. I bet pretty quickly. I bet it's stuff that they've actually probably have been working on as they're waiting for everything to get approved.
From Sakelin, hey Jeff loves showering with clothes on, Grubb, and Mike loves showering naked, Manati.
It's true. I'm a freak that way.
Not really a question, but just wanted to say if you are ever in the mood for a fun drinking game, play Beer Party. It is a Wii party, but whatever number pops up on your turn, you have to take that amount of sips from your beer. It can get quite ridiculous, but very fun.
I never played Wii Party before, and it actually looked pretty fun when you guys were playing it during the bomb.
Good time. I really liked that. That was a lot of fun. That's one that we could play with, network play, and we should maybe do that. I wonder. No, I guess that would be kind of a pain with the Wii motion controls over a network.
Right.
We can still try. Who gives a fuck? It's just Wii Party.
Just come over too. It's
exactly. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely we'll do that soon. From the Egg Doctor. Hey Mike, safe sex practitioner Minotti, and Jeff. Jim Ryan is my protection. Grubb. That's right. By being good friends with Jim Ryan, I never get to have sex. So Overwatch 2 has finally launched, and the Battle Pass completely sucks. Battle passes are a known quantity in the industry at this point and can be done very well. And he gives Fortnite as an example. Why do games like Overwatch 2 and Halo keep launching with subpar offerings? Please take some time off, Jeff. Yeah, eventually. We'll get to that point eventually.
I've got two. My big breaks are both coming up in November. I've got this wedding, and then I have the big Disney trip that I've been looking forward to for a while at the end of November.
You're going to be... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to say that you're going to be the one having to find guests to replace me.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. That'll be fun.
And can't be AJ for the one, because he'll be with me.
Damn it. I was going kind of all out for the Bombathon and stuff, and was kind of trying to really... plug any gaps that appeared. And now I do feel comfortable saying, hey, on Friday, I'm leaving early so I can go to Niagara Falls. It was my wife's birthday during the Bombathon. I missed that, so I need to make that up to her. And everyone was like, yeah, of course. So I'm at least taking a half day tomorrow. So there's that.
Was there a question there?
Why do games like Overwatch 2 and Halo keep launching with subpar offerings? I think it's just actually kind of hard to...
I think it's hard
to figure. I mean, especially when you're Halo, there's a certain idea about the way the Spartans are supposed to look, and when you start figuring out okay, now we need to create a run of content to play on those ideas, but also make it something that's worth people's time. And I don't know, it just seems like it's hard to do that while also using those tools. And then Overwatch 2, I imagine that they just were so stuck in doing things one way for so long that they kind of all right, we'll throw some ideas together, but it's still going to be a learning on the job process. I think that's going to be, technically this is beta, right? They're in beta for Overwatch 2's multiplayer.
Sure. I think it's technically early access, but
right. Sure. Of course. From Dr. Suss. Hey, Mike, slowly trying out for Giant Bomb Minotti, And Jeff, I hope these 50 podcasts I'm on make money. Grubb. You're not wrong. I loved Blasphemous, but didn't touch any of the free DLC, despite the great time I had with it. What's a game you loved but never cared to go back for the DLC?
I'm like that with a lot of games.
I mean,
Jeff.
my answer is all of them.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. Like Spider-Man is one that jumped to my mind. Like it had all these DLC campaigns. It was like the Black Cat showed up. I was like, don't care.
Really, it did? I know. I wasn't paying attention after a certain point.
Oh yeah, it absolutely did. Even like the big RPGs, like there will always be like, here's the new Fallout 4 thing where you even go to a theme park and it's like a Disney World thing. It should be right up my alley. I'm still like, I'm not playing Fallout 4. I beat that game. No, thank you. So yeah, I'm basically like that with everything. It's very rare for me to be like, oh shit, the DLC dropped. Even when I'm playing a game now, like we're playing Alan Wake right now for the game club, and people are like, oh, the remastered version you're playing comes with the DLC. I'm like, I'm not playing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is great, it's fantastic. Oh, you can play the DLC too. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't know why I'm wired this way.
You know what I do like? Expandalones. You give me Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Same setting, different character, new stuff to do in that place. Fucking A, sign me up. Oh, it's
Give me
shorter
Blood
too?
Dragon.
Fuck, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, that's like the sweet spot, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Other than that, like, the only ones I even think about are the ones that get insane praise, like Minerva's Den, which sounds like it could have been an expanded loan.
Right, it probably should. It would have been had they realized that was an option back then.
Yeah, so there you go.
From One Up versus CPU, the biggest question I have coming out of the Street Fighter 6 beta is, who is all this avatar stuff for? It feels like it's made to draw in free-to-play Fortnite players, but Street Fighter 6 is not free-to-play. Are those people even going to buy a $60 or $70 Street Fighter game? You know they're going to microtransaction the hell out of this stuff too. Are the people who buy the game for the arcade mode and local multiplayer going to buy it? Is the fighting game community going to care? I get the sense that this is actually going to win over the fighting game community, and it's going to be kind of what they want going forward. At least when in terms of the online experience for the game. Like, obviously, all those people are still going to have their way of doing these things in person and local multiplayer. But then when it comes to playing online and having a community, also, it's like that stuff's for people who aren't considering themselves in the FGC as well, which they're trying to expand Street Fighter to be this big thing, this all-encompassing thing. And I think it's going to work for the most part.
I think it is working. I mean, I haven't seen people from the beta complain about it.
Yeah, me neither.
People mostly had fun making avatars, checking out clothes. Some people had fun like making like just the absolute freaks, and you can make some freaks in that thing. Some people had fun like, oh, I can get this shirt, I can do this. And there's just the aspect of being in that virtual space, whether it's, you know, hang out or, oh, here's Maximilian dudes and I can watch him and that's his avatar. And like, whoa, it's like I'm by, you know, this big person. I think that whole concept is going to be very successful for them. Just like the rest of Street Fighter 6 is going to be very successful.
Yeah, it seems like Street Fighter 6 is just going to blow up. I'm ready for it too. I'm like ready for one of those games to win me over. And yeah.
I'm so mad I can't play more of it right now. I had so much fun with that beta.
Let's see here. From Pika Blue, Jeff will start watching Naruto again, Grubb, and Mike, Minnie the Minion Naughty Mouse Minotti.
Jesus.
Hello and happy fall. What is your art of buying Christmas gifts for nieces and nephews and other children? I got the last few years have been last minute panic buying gifts. Got any tips?
It actually got a lot easier for me once they started playing video games. Now, I know not everybody I think wants to spend that as much as like a whole video game with some of these people. I don't have my own kids, so like I'm like, yeah, niece, nephew, I can do that, I guess. Otherwise, you know what? It got harder because there's no Toys R Us anymore, and I know you can just go online, but for some reason, like that doesn't work. The next best toy store, oddly, is Barnes and Noble now.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They actually have a decent like toys, especially for like younger kids, which can be hard to find. Like it's better than going to Target a lot of the time.
That two-story Barnes and Noble over that Crocker place or whatever. So I'll check that out. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
So, and they have like a science section too. So that's kind of nice if I feel like they need to learn about stars or whatever. Here's a kid.
My strategy is to try to identify an opportunity for a big gift that kind of can buy me some time in case I can't think of anything the next time around that they have a birthday or it's Christmas. And so when the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 came out, And I was able to like finagle my way into getting some by like, oh, my community, someone has some, they'll sell it to me at cost. I ended up giving those to my my nieces and nephews' families because they were like, one family was asking for an Xbox for Connor, and then the other family was asking for a PlayStation 5 for Jackson. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll sort of find a way to get myself some more next time. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously that was a big win, and I can have some like time now. Obviously, those are big, expensive gifts, but like I said, like I think their next birthdays, I couldn't think of anything, and kind of like, when I was there, I gave them a little something or whatever. But it's like, oh, you know, I just got you a PlayStation 5. Help, like, give me a break here. Yeah, exactly. And then the other side of it is like AliExpress or these monoprice.com that have all of these cheap little gadgets from China or Taiwan. I remember one year I got them all like tiny little drones. They were like drones smaller than even their hands. They just little remote control things. Kids love like just flying stuff into things, and those things probably didn't last more than a week. But they were like fun little throwaway Christmas gifts, and they were probably memorable and stuff like that. And they were cheap, and I could buy one for each kid, even though there's 15 of these kids. So yeah, I think that's a good strategy too. Is if you can think about something pretty early on, and you could deal with the shipping time, going on like AliExpress is a good option. All right. Let's see here. From Mario's Ass is Missing. Hello, Jeff. Gets hit by a car in an oversized costume, leaving Uncle Mikey as the only father figure in his kid's life, Grubb. And Mike indoctrinates Jeff's children into the cult of Kingdom Hearts and turns the podcast into a Kingdom Hearts podcast when Jeff can no longer stop him. Minotti. Man, what a nightmare.
Did you see that animatic that came out? Like somebody like released the like test pilot animatic for the Kingdom Hearts cartoon that they like Disney was kind of working on back when they were like Kingdom Hearts 1 was a thing. That was wild to see because it's like actually the voice of like Donald and Goofy like doing those voices and stuff. Like it, they considered it. It got relatively far in the planning process.
No, I'm not saying I'll have to check that out because I'm sure it's real good.
Yeah, you'll like it. Yeah, you'll like it a lot.
If you were asked to design a Pokemon based on your co-host, which animal or combination of animals and type of Pokemon would it be? What would its special move be?
Jeff would be. I mean, he's got the mane, so like part of a lion, but also something much grubbier, but not like in a bug kind of way, just kind of like a raccoon, grubby. something that loves trash.
Yeah,
so it'd be like a raccoon lion. And I don't know what your special move would be. It would be some kind of you'd like smile uncomfortably. It'd be like the Pokemon move Leer, but it would be like nod uneasily.
I think you'd be a panda bear, like mixed with some sort of inanimate object, like just a hunk of plastic. And your special move would be Screech. You Screech.
Screech is a Pokemon move.
Yeah, well,
Screech is a
Gen
1 baby there. Super Screech.
Double Screech, yeah.
I summoned Screech from Saved by the Bell, and then we find out he's problematic now.
Yeah. he died, right? All right.
Oh, shit. He did. I don't mean to laugh, but yeah, he did die. Whoops.
But he was also problematic, so I'm glad he died. Moving on. Who even knows anymore?
Well, come on, Jeff. He wasn't the Queen of England.
Someone who really deserved it. I mean, Screech, Queen of England, basically.
We don't play fuck, marry, kill here, but we're glad when celebrities die.
Listen, if they're already dead, I mean, what can we do about that? Who even knows anymore? What's up, Mike Mignonati and Jeff will do anything Dan Reichert even suggests. Grubb. I know we're all over the idea that a full-price game has to be super long, and stylized graphics also no longer mean a game is of lower quality. What to you makes a game worth paying $70 for, and what makes it not? Is it just a feeling?
It's more than a feeling.
More than a feeling.
I don't know. I don't know, because like there certainly is a point. Like if as much as I like 2D games that like are retro pixel art things, as much like let's say River City Girls 2, which I'm really looking forward to. If you told me I had to pay $70 for that, even though I would probably spend more time with it than a lot of $70 games and like it more, I would for some reason still raise an eye at you. So yeah. there is something about the production of it that has to be there. It is hard to explain though.
Yeah, it's definitely sort of non-rational in a lot of ways. If it's from Nintendo, I know they're not going to lower the price. I'll pay $60 for just about anything that I'm interested in from them. But a lot of other times, there's actually very few games I want to pay $60 for. I look for deals. I look for ways to not pay this money, or I try to get codes through my job and stuff like that. So, it's pretty rare where I'm like looking at something like that. It's definitely worth $70. That's a lot of money. And so but it mostly just comes down to, do I feel I need to play this right now? And a lot of times the answer to that question is no. From Jimmy Nintendo. Hey guys, what is Star Citizen at this point? How did it manage to get so much funding? I feel like it's the biggest game in the world I know the least about. Thanks. I think the answer from both of us is shrug.
Yeah, fuck if I know. It's the game that made a lot of money. I assume space is involved.
I'll check it out.
Got the word star in it.
Star Citizen funding tracker.
Yeah, it's like something ridiculous. I assume people just like to invest in it because so many people have now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's oh my god, it's like guess how much money it's raised. According to the official robertsspaceindustries.com/funding goals tracker.
20 million?
Oh my god, Mike, you're not even close.
What is it?
So this is money not just from like the Kickstarter, it's also money from people buying the ships to use in the game eventually. You got to add at least one other digit.
500 million?
$505 million.
Oh, it's pretty close. So they're just rich now. Why finish the game?
Yeah, that's
right?
a really good point.
Like at some point, I guess I have to deliver something, but I imagine these people.
Do they?
I feel like their work ethic has certainly taken a nosedive because they're probably living on some beach somewhere.
Yeah. Oh man, look, a campaign start on 23rd of December 2012. So 10 years.
What was the promise that got people so excited about? Is this like one of those you can fly to any planet kind of a deal? Is
yeah, like it's going to have a full, economic system, and you'll be able to you fly anywhere, and you'll be able to trade with anyone, and these planets will have their own distinct, cultures and things like that.
Just snowballed for some reason.
It was 2.5 million was the initial goal. Star Citizen, or maybe that was the initial stretch goal. And so Star Citizen will feature an additional flyable ship, the Anvil Gladiator, and now they've just gone. There's
right. Like at a certain point, like you can't make enough stretch goals anymore. Right? Right.
Yeah, man, that's just bizarre. It's bananas. I mean, I'm sure there are a million YouTube like documentaries about this thing at this point.
Yeah.
But even those, can you trust those? Because a lot of those people are seem like spurned lovers from the game.
Yes.
Where they're like, oh, I believed in it, and now I no longer do. I'm gonna expose it. I'm like, I kind of want the sober view from someone who never believed in it and then did all the research.
Maybe it should be you. Maybe you should go and play Star Citizen tomorrow for the first time. See what the fuck is going on there.
Yeah, maybe in November we could do a UPF on it or something like that, and just get a good try to figure out what can you play today. Yeah, No Clip should do one. Yeah, Danny should do that. I would like that. Okay. Let's see. That does it for the questions from the podcast producers. Mike, did we get any more super chats while I was just rambling on there?
We sure did get a few more. Hired Sword said Elden Ring DLC rumor / data mine. We actually did talk about that. That came up from somebody in the podcast thing. The one thing I saw people were talking about is apparently you're gonna do separate damage scaling in PvP as opposed to PvE.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what the consequences of that will be. I didn't do a ton of the PvP stuff, Jeff.
Yeah, me neither.
Gar2 says, is Super Mario Brothers 2 a mainline Mario, even though it's Doki
yes.
Panic? Yes.
1000%.
It's that team. It's not like... it's a reskin, but there was a bit more than a reskin to that. And, it got re-released in Japan as a Mario game
Super
also.
Mario USA. And, obviously Shy Guys have become a major thing, and they started there. But also, it's just games always have a weird path to getting created, and this one's just happened to be a TV channel asked for a game, and Nintendo made something, and then Nintendo was like, let's use that as the bones for a new Mario game, and now it just is also a new Mario game. That's just it is both of those things.
It is putting a slight hole in my hole. Well, Yoshi's Island mechanics are different things. This one has different mechanics than all the other Mario, but it still counts. And Lost Levels both count. Diving Greedy says, "Daddy, thank you for the Tinykin closer look. The game is awesome."
Yeah, really. I finished it the other day. It's a good, quick, nice platformer. I think I left it on a little bit, but my final timer was like at 8 hours or something. It's a real solid, fun platformer. I am looking forward to what they do next. I think if they take the idea and build on it instead of just doing more rooms in this house, if the next one is like, no, now we do go in the backyard, and then we go into the driveway, and then you go further away from the house, and like what the possibilities could be with that stuff, or in the garage or whatever. Maybe one of the levels in this game was in the garage, but whatever. There is a lot of potential for a sequel. I hope they do one because Tinykin is fantastic.
Evan Olmstead says, "Hi, Jeff and Mike Mainline Minotti." That's a good name. Saw screens from Saints Row going around today claiming to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, made me wonder, is that game going well?
I think it's going to be time to hear about that game here pretty soon, right? That one feels like it could show up at the Game Awards because it's Indiana Jones. It's a Hollywood thing. There's a new Indiana Jones movie coming out. Jeff Keighley would love all of that shit, and it's been a long time since it got, since the announcement of we're working on this. I think it could be at the Game Awards. I would like to see that.
I could see that being one of the big ones. Yeah, that would make some sense. It has been a while. Yeah, I hope so. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Well, that's it from the Super Chats for now, Jeff.
Cool. You've been playing anything? Anything that you want to talk about? I know we talked about Overwatch 2 a little bit. Are you still kind of keeping up with that?
Yeah, I was playing before this, was doing some ranked and having a pretty good time. What I've been really having fun with is I started I kind of mentioned this. I've been playing Alan Wake Remastered for that's actually our Game Mess Game Club game this month.
That, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have like a longer talk about it at the end of the month, but I've been enjoying it. I know why I missed it is because I thought it would be scary. So back then I was like just avoiding all scary things. It is a little scary. But it's definitely more spooky than it is scary. There's like a couple jump scares, but it's kind of in a fun way. But that's a good game. I've been enjoying it kind of more than I thought even. It's whole, you know what it is? It has a bit of that, like The Shining. It's scary, but there's also something kind of cozy about it for some reason. There's a coziness going on in Alan Wake that I like a lot. Have you ever played it? Are you gonna try it at all, or is this something you played back when it came out?
I tried it when it first came out. I bounced off it. I just didn't. I wasn't like won over by it. I might get it on the Steam Deck and try to play along with you guys a little bit at least.
So the remastered version is only on Epic Game Store if you want to play that.
Okay, I could probably figure out. That will probably work on the Steam Deck. I'll see if I can get that up and running. But if not, I'll just maybe it could be one I stream. It is October. That would be kind of fun. Like you're streaming it. It would be kind of fun to do it along with you. So that could be something I could try to do. The thing I remember about this game the most is listening to Exploding Barrel when it came out. I think you guys had like George Kokoris? I can't remember his last name.
Yeah,
but,
George Kokoris.
Yeah, George Kokoris. Which,
I haven't heard from George in a while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, shout out to George. And he was like, he remember saying like, "This is the best game ever made." It's like
a lot of people really liked it.
He's like, "This is like the future of what gaming's going to be." And I think you guys a few months later you had George on again, and like I think AJ mentioned like, "Yeah, you were like super into Alan Wake. You called it like the best game ever." He's like, "I did? I don't remember doing that." I'm just like, that happens to me all the time. It was just very funny to hear that on that
incredible.
Show. So I remember like people just fawning over this game when it came out, and then I tried it and was like, I see the sheen that this game has, and it definitely, especially at that time, there just wasn't a lot of stuff that looked and felt like that, and then had the vibes of this is one of those Remedy games that has the TV stuff, right? And like you'll come across.
Yeah, it does the whole Twin Peaks thing. Exactly.
Yeah, and like there wasn't a lot of that in the games at the time. At this point, there's a lot of stuff like that. Back then, this was one of the first doing that. So I always got it. It just didn't win me over. I bet I'm in a different place enough that if I gave it a shot, there's a strong chance that it could win me over. So I'm curious, and I'm curious to see what you end up thinking about it.
What else I really like about it, I think it contributes to that cozy factor, is even though it's remastered, and the remastered's great in terms of like, the frame rate and the resolution look great, the game runs well, a lot of it looks really nice. But there is still a lot of Xbox 360-ness to this game that I really like appreciate and like these days. Like, the character models are still mostly 360 character models. They have like the Xbox 360 dead eyes, and I'm like, yes, that. There's that one like rusty or cobblestone texture that I think every Xbox 360 game had to use, or else like Microsoft would pay a hitman to take them out or something, and that's there. I don't even know if I would call it like jank. I don't even know if jank's the word hired.
Right.
I know what you mean, but it's like there is just that Xbox 360 ass quality to it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember when this was how every game felt.
It's an Unreal 3 game, right?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's right.
Because that was like when everything was having.
Yeah, it's not a B game D-test. It was pretty AAA. It's pretty high end, especially definitely. For the time. Pretty high end stuff. Not B. It's not like Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, I also like it came from Europe, and there was some like maybe it's like the Euro jank a little bit, but not quite because it's not like a sim game.
Really.
There's just something about it. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's one I always wanted to like, so I'm glad you guys are doing it, and I'll be at least very interested to hear what everyone in the community has to say about it.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go play more of it. The problem is I want to play so many spooky games this month.
Right.
We're already halfway through, and like after I beat this one, like I wanted to do Resident Evil 1 and Eternal Darkness on the GameCube. It's like, well, how many things am I going to really get through by the end of the month? So we'll see.
Yeah, I might try to do a longer stream on one of these weekends coming up and really make some progress in some spooky games. That would be fun. I started Shovel Knight Dig, which is giving me SteamWorld Dig vibes. It's kind of got that whole thing going for it, where it is like it really has that same structure of you start on the surface, try to see how far you can get, and then you unlock some things that make the next time a little bit easier, so you can get a little bit further. That's just a great loop that SteamWorld Dig perfected. SteamWorld Dig 2 perfected. And I think this game is on that same trajectory, only with Shovel Knight stuff, which is also inherently fun. So I'm pretty excited, but I'm early on, and I'm having some trouble dialing in the risk-reward side of it, where I am taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage, just playing poorly. And I think it's just I'm used to Shovel Knight being one way, and this game a lot more punishing if you play it sort of... just running at danger, which you kind of need to be playing it a lot more like Splatoon, where you are going into things with a little bit of hesitation. But the problem with that is, what did I say? Spelunky. You need to be playing like Spelunky, but the problem, like just like Spelunky, is if you wait around too long, something's going to come up behind you. In this game, it's a giant wheel that's like a chainsaw that's going to come down and kill you instantly. So you can't wait too long. So I'm like, I'm feeling the pressure of I need to be learning the ins and outs of each one of these encounters. And it's not like it's just the static enemies on the screen. There's always like this one that floats in from the side that is surprisingly challenging. You know how like there's that video on like TikTok of a guy who's like, here, try to block my punch. And all these fast punches are coming in. He's having no problem blocking those. But then he does like a medium speed punch and he can't stop that. There's like a lot of those kinds of enemies that come in at you at medium speed, which convince you like, oh, I don't have to worry about it yet. And then suddenly, 2 seconds later, oh, no, I should have been worrying about that thing this entire time. And so I'm just like having trouble dialing in the speed of the game, exactly what I should be worried and juggling like what I should be worried about. But all that said, I'm having fun figuring that out. It's just a really solidly made game. I can tell that much. And I want to keep playing it. And every time I turn on the Steam Deck, it's right there. I'm happy to continue playing it. And I think I'm pretty close to getting over the hump. So, but yeah, it's nice also just to be back with a a Shovel Knight game. I love Shovel Knight. So yeah,
I love Shovel Knight too. So it's weird I haven't played this yet, but like just my Switch time has been so dominated by just glut of RPGs, and it feels like it's gonna be like that for a while still. It's like part of me is almost like, man, I'm like. It's like going to be months before I can play something else or play even my Steam Deck. And part of me almost resents it. But at the same time, I'm having a lot of fun with these JRPGs. And I kind of want to play them while they're newish and part of the zeitgeist and all that stuff. So I need more time. I need more days. I need more nights.
And then I've been playing a lot of Mario games. And now Sackboy's Big Adventure because of my kids. And that's been great. Just getting 20 minutes at a time when my kids hand over the controller to me in Bowser's Fury. I'm really, the more I play, or like the more I replay those games, that Bowser's Fury, Odyssey, Super Mario 3D World, and even Sackboy's Big Adventure to a certain extent, the more I'm like, oh, I just really like this kind of game, and these are some of the best games of this genre ever, especially Odyssey and Bowser's Fury. I think Bowser's Fury though is the one where it's like, at the time, I knew I liked it. It's a really well-made game, but it wasn't near number 1 on my Game of the Year list that year. It was like on the top 10, but it wasn't in the top 5, I don't think. And it's like, man, I think I like this game more now than I think I even did then, and it probably is going to like move up my personal list if I were to go back and like look at that year again. So just kind of nice to be introducing the kids to these Mario games, and of their own volition. They've been asking me about them because maybe they saw me playing it and they wanted to try it out. But it's like, oh, this is a good excuse to keep playing them. So really, really enjoying that. And now I'm like looking forward to spending some more time with other Mario games. Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope here pretty soon. I'm looking forward to that. I do not have a code for that game, but I think we got someone on staff reviewing that, so we'll see.
Is Sackboy's Big Adventure a mainline Little Big Planet game, Jeff?
No, of course not. That's insane. I would like be interested. I've never played any of the Little Big Planet games. I wonder how I.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wonder how I would feel about this.
I don't know. I always wanted to like it more. My problem is I did not have fun making things in those games. Yeah. So it's like, okay, let's see. Oh, look, somebody recreated Mario 1-1.
Oh, that's
somebody
what I should
made
do.
a calculator.
I should make levels in Super Mario Maker for my kids.
Oh, there you go.
That would be fun. That could be good, because then I could control like how stressful it is for them. That's a big problem with Sackboy is one level in, you get to that level 2, and it's way too hard for them already. I mean, Emmy's figuring out some of the motion control stuff, and that's cool, but it's too challenging for her mostly. Mario 3D World has that super coon suit where like you could turn into that super raccoon and you're untouchable, like you can't die, and you could also still float around and stuff, and that really helps. But even that game's a bit challenging. Bowser's Fury, they just like exploring and finding stuff, and so it kind of is perfect for them.
There you go.
All right, Mike, I think that's going to do it. Should we wrap up the show?
Yeah, I think that's enough of that.
Any more super chats?
I don't think we had any last-minute ones come in.
All right, I'm going to hit the button. And, Mike, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet?
Good fun. Man, I just, got sleepy as soon as you're like, oh,
yeah, man, it's 11 p.m. We do these shows late now.
At coffee energy.
Yeah.
I think I'm crashing. All right,
so
thanks for
you started
listening.
drinking coffee? For real?
I had my first cup today in, a decade. I drank half of it because I was feeling pretty tweaked out. I got a small, drank half of it. I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot. But,
fair enough.
Tweaked out. It did keep me up though. But
yeah,
we'll
fair
see.
Enough. Did its job.
I'm a hero. We'll be back Tuesday with Last of the 10 Dogs.
Yes, we will.
I'm on Twitter and Twitch all the time now. Tolkoto. That's it.
I'm Jeff Grubb. The big thing, this show has moved to a different provider, different distributor, which might be placing significantly more ads. If you hate that, let me know. But there is a way to get this show ad-free, and for now, that does mean joining the Patreon, or and I suppose I'll do it so even if you get in through if you hit the join button or whatever, you can get the ad-free version. If you're watching on YouTube, it should be one thing, but if you get it from an RSS feed, you'll probably be getting significantly more ads. And if you get the Patreon version, or go to the Podcast Producers channel, there will be an ad-free version of this show going forward, uploaded in multiple ways that you can listen to it. In the future, depending on what happens with these ads, I might post the ad-free version for free, just publicly on Patreon. Just say, hey, this is for everybody. If you don't want to go through an RSS at all and you just want to download an MP3, I think I might create that option just as a way for people to, if they really, really hate it and they also don't have the money.
Jeff's trying to juggle his desire to make some more money off this with his incredible guilt of slightly inconveniencing
Mike understands
people.
me 100%, exactly. So while I try to deal with those internal conflicting notions, help me figure it out. Give me the feedback. I'd love to hear it. In the meantime, if you are already a podcast producer, make sure there's that link in the welcome thing where it's like the Acast link. Just click on that. If you sign in, it'll give you your personalized feed to get this show ad-free going forward. That also gets you the Q&A and stuff and all that. So do that. All right, everybody. Until next time. Bye. I'm gonna come